Toy Story 2 on the PS1 was one of those rare movie licensed games that was actually really fun to play. It was a cool 3D platformer starring Buzz Lightyear, but it was missing just one thing in my opinion: trophies. So as a breakdown of the trophies I've implemented into the game, there is 6 bronze, 6 silver, 8 gold and 1 platinum trophy for a total of 21 trophies to collect. First up are the bronze trophies, with quite a few of these being dedicated to Mr. Potato Head, as you don't get any Pizza Planet tokens from his missions. So he'll be often found in some of the levels, and it will require you to find some of his missing body parts. So first up in level 1, down in the basement, he will need you to find his ear, and if you can find this somewhere in the level and then bring it back to him, you would unlock the bronze Ear You Are trophy. So a lot of these trophies, like I said, will be related to him. Next up is the I Gotcha trophy, which requires you to find Mr. Potato Head's eye in the construction level and return it to him. So these can actually be quite tricky at times to try and find these body parts because of the way the game doesn't render much further ahead than what you are, so it can be hard to see them at times. And it's worthwhile doing these because you do get power-ups of Buzz, like a disc launcher that you need to use in this level to defeat the boss at the top. So they are worthwhile doing. Next up is the armed and ready one for getting his arm inside the Owl's toy barn. You can then get another one called Found Your Feet by finding his foot in the, I think it's like the hotel sort of lobby sort of lift area. So this one you have to find his foot on one of these cabinet things. When you bring it to him, he will give you the grapple hook, which is sort of essential for progress through this level really. So it's like an easier one to find. Just like the disc launcher one was kind of easier than some of the others. So once you do that and you go to Mr. Potato Head, you will unlock the trophy for your troubles. Psst, over here is the final Potato Head bronze trophy, which requires you to find his mouth in the airport level. The final bronze trophy in this list, however, is the Best Friends trophy, which just requires you to beat the game by completing the final mission to defeat Stinky Pete and save Woody. So this one you can complete at any percent of the game. You don't have to 100% it to unlock this, you just nearly need to finish the game. Next up we have the silver trophies, and as this is a kids game, I wanted to keep the list fairly simple and straightforward. So the silvers are basically used for all of the main boss fights in the game for the most part, and the first ones of these that you can get is in the Bombs Away level, where you have to fight the airplane in Andy's backyard. So once you defeat this airplane boss, you will unlock the silver Bombed Away trophy. And beyond! The next boss fight that we'll get is the Slimed Out silver trophy, which requires you to beat the green slime ooze thing that's in one of the trash cans in the streets section of the game. So this is another big boss fight. There are mini boss fights in some of the levels, but this is a boss specific arena, and it's like its own level, which is what all of these silver trophies are mainly related to, these boss fights. So as soon as you beat this enemy, you'll unlock the silver Slimed Timed Out trophy. To infinity and beyond! The next boss fight happens in Al's toy barn, and that is the Toy Band silver trophy for defeating the spaceship thing. I don't really know what it's called, but this is probably one of the more trickier boss fights. So you basically have to shoot down all of those yellow pods that are connected to the main sort of robot thing, and these contain loads of little mini toys that you have to destroy, so it can be quite a longer boss fight than some of the others because it takes a while to destroy all of those pods. But once you do all of those yellow pods, it's just a case of hitting the robot and you can easily kill him then, and once you do that, you'll get the Toy Band trophy. The next boss fight is for the defeating Evil Emperor Zurg, and the silver trophy is called Bye Bye Zurg. So this is another a different sort of boss fight, because your lasers don't really do much damage to him at all, so you have to use your spin attack by holding in circle. But the problem is, if you do that, you'll end up being dizzy afterwards, so you can't move, so you are kind of vulnerable. So it is a bit of a trickier boss fight, this. But like most of the things in this game, it's not that hard, because it is a kid's game after all, so the difficulty is sort of turned down a notch. So once you attack Zurg enough with your spin attack, kind of like Crash Bandicoot in a way, and you defeat him, as he falls down the lift shaft, you will unlock the Bye Bye Zurg trophy.
And beyond.
So I did mention these earlier briefly, but the game does contain several mini-bosses that occur in the main levels, and these, once defeated, will award you with one of the Pizza Planet tokens for that level. So in the first level, Andy's house, up in the attic you'll find this big silver toy robot. And this is the first mini-boss you do, so once you defeat him you gain a Pizza Planet token. So this trophy mini-boss just requires you to defeat all of the mini-bosses throughout the game. So you'll fight one in Andy's neighbourhood, a kite, the annoying construction boss, which is like a big pneumatic drill thing, which can only be defeated with the disc launcher. That's a really tough boss fight. In the toy barn you'll go across various dinosaurs. I'm pretty sure there's like a cowboy boss as well in Al's sort of penthouse area, and there's loads of different sort of bosses that you'll fight. You can do these in any order because you don't have to get all the tokens in every level to unlock everything, so this will just unlock whenever you do the very last one. On my playthrough here you can see that I got the final one killed on the airport level near the end of the game. So once you get them all in whatever order, you'll unlock the mini boss trophy. So the final silver trophy in Toy Story 2 is the Stinky Loser trophy, which requires you to defeat Stinky Pete and his stinky friends in the final level of the game. So this is a 1 against 3 boss fight, which is kind of bullshit to be honest, but thankfully if you do lose a life you instantly respawn where you were. You don't have to restart the encounter, so you can sort of just cheese your way through it like I'm doing here in this footage. Basically they don't really take much damage with your laser, so you're better off just using your spin attack to just take down all 3 of them. They're all 3 bosses you've fought before besides Stinky Pete. You got the cowboy and then one of the... I think he was someone on top of the airport, but once you defeat them all and you've saved Woody, you'll unlock the silver Stinky Loser trophy. Now let's take a look at the tougher gold trophies in Toy Story 2. And the first is a bit of an Easter egg, because this was a sort of urban legend of the game, if you will. So there was a rumour early on in the days of this game where if you could collect 100 coins in the very first level, Andy's house, you would unlock a secret sort of area with a secret level, I believe it was. However, this was never the case because it was basically impossible for you to collect 100 coins. I think at most there was 99, but I might be wrong there. So this is basically just a sort of joke on that. So the trophy is called 100 with a question mark, and it just requires you to collect every single coin that is available in the game, which isn't 100, but it's just a tie into that sort of legend of the game, which I thought was quite cool. So once you get the last coin, you'll unlock the trophy. Next up we have the gold Not Just a Toy trophy, which requires you to beat any boss in the game without getting hit once. So you're probably better off doing it against the toy robot mini boss in the very first level up in the attic, as he's quite easy. So once you kill it without taking any damage whatsoever, you'll unlock the trophy. The next gold trophy is called Space Racer. So throughout the game there are lots of different races, and there's a couple against RC, and the one on level 2 in the garden actually sort of requires you to get the boost shoes, so you can just like rocket skate around the track and easily beat RC. However, it is possible to beat it without using that power up and just running around and sort of blocking RC whenever he tries to overtake you, as that'll sort of just bounce him away and cause him to sort of just stop dead in his tracks for a bit. So this is a trophy that I've tied into that, because Space Racer requires you to win the race in the neighbourhood garden without using the power-ups. So it is probably one of the toughest trophies in the game, to be fair, because you have got to try and fight the awkwardness of the camera and the controls and just not really seeing RC until the very last second. But if you can prevent him from overtaking you, and you can actually win the race without using the power-ups, you will unlock the Gold Space Racer. The next gold trophy is called Lost and Found. So the last few gold trophies now are all tied to 100% completing all mission types. So this one is the Lost and Found missions, which usually require you to find a character who has lost things like maybe they've lost luggage, or Bo Peep has lost her sheep, and you have to run around the level and try and find usually about 5 of these items before bringing them back to that person to get the Pizza Planet token. So they're usually in pretty much every level, I think. You'll have, say, finding aliens in the toy shop to take them back to a UFO, and whatever one you do last, because you can do them in any sort of order really, you will unlock the gold trophy for it. The next one is Money in the Bank, which requires you to complete all of the Ham Ham coin missions in the game. So throughout the levels you'll often find Ham Ham somewhere, and he will require you to find 50 gold coins and bring them back to him for his Pizza Planet token. So you can get coins from enemies or just lying around the place. And once you do this in every level that has this mission available, on your very final one, once you complete that, you will unlock the gold Money in the Bank trophy. Next up we have Light Years in Front, which is a gold trophy for completing all of the different races in the game. So along with RC, you'll also do different types of races against other types of toys. There's a really annoying one in the toy barn where you race against this other UFO flying toy on these zip lines. It's a really tough and bullshit race. But you'll also find Bullseye and maybe Slinky, who require you to find 5 items within a time limit. So these are still sort of races as well. So once you do all of these throughout all of the levels, your very last one will unlock this trophy. It's probably one of the trickier ones, to be honest, because some of those ones where you have to find 5 of the item, they can be hard to see. But once you do the last one, like I said, you'll unlock the Light Years in Front trophy. Next up, we have Light Years Ahead gold trophy, which requires you to collect all of the hidden puzzle Pizza Planet tokens in the game. So certain levels will have these sort of hidden Pizza Planet tokens where you may have to do certain actions in order to find them. One of the first most memorable ones would be the construction yard one, where you have to mix different colours to make different paints in the tins. So you just jump on these switches and push the tin underneath where the nozzle comes out with the paint. So once you do that, you get that token. But the Light Years Ahead trophy will unlock once you've done the very last one, so you have to do all of them. But again, like all the other ones with the missions, you can do them in any order because you can unlock all the levels without getting every single token in the level, so there's a chance you might miss a few and then come back to levels later on, maybe when you have the power-ups. So once you do your very last one of these puzzle type Pizza Planet tokens, you will unlock the Light Years Ahead trophy. Next up, we have the Pizza Planet token, which is the gold trophy for collecting every single Pizza Planet token in the game. So this is basically you 100% in the game with in terms of all of the Pizza Planet tokens at least. So this will feel like a daunting task at first, but for the most part they are fairly easy. There's a few later levels later on where you can't do them without the power-ups from Potato Head, but other than that it shouldn't be too bad. So now all that's left is the Platinum trophy. So if you've managed to unlock every other trophy in the game, you will then automatically unlock the Platinum trophy, which I've called Space Ranger, and it's got a nice trophy icon as it's the Star Command logo, which I thought was pretty cool, to be honest. So there you go, that is all of the trophies I have added to Toy Story 2 on the PlayStation 1. What do you think of this list? Let me know in the comments below. So I would say that this was a Platinum difficulty rating of about 3 out of 10 because I've purposely kept it fairly straightforward as it is a kids game. But do you think you could Platinum this? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.